Let's get right into it. Number 10. The desert that used to be cities. Picture this. You're standing in the middle of the Sahara Desert, sweating buckets, looking around at endless dunes and thinking, yep, nothing has ever lived here except scorpions and disappointment. Except, plot twist, beneath all that sand are ruins of cities. Whole cities with walls, roads, pottery, and even irrigation systems. Basically, ancient people were running SimCity long before the first camel ever thought about wandering by. Here's the weird part. The Sahara wasn't always a giant hairdryer blowing sand in your face. Thousands of years ago, it was lush. Rivers, lakes, hippos casually chilling like it was Africa's version of Florida. And people thrived there. Archaeologists have found remnants of settlements with detailed rock art showing animals you'd expect to see on a safari, not a desert postcard. So how did it all vanish? Climate decided to pull the ultimate prank. Around 5,000 years ago, shifting weather patterns turned paradise into sand hell. The civilizations either packed up or just didn't make it. Imagine your hometown becoming unlivable because Mother Nature set the thermostat to fry everything. And the creepiest part? Scientists think the Sahara might flip again in the future. That's right. Desert one day, a lush jungle the next. Your great-great-grandkids could be jet skiing where you once complained about sunburns. So yeah, the desert hiding cities is less empty wasteland and more ancient real estate scam.
Number 9. The Black Pyramid nobody talks about. If I say pyramid, you think golden, majestic, Instagram-worthy. The Black Pyramid of Egypt? Not so much. It's basically the pyramid equivalent of a failed DIY project. Built by Pharaoh Amen-Emhat III, it was supposed to be a glorious monument. Instead, it's a melted-looking heap of mud brick that seems like it's slowly giving up on existence. Here's the catch. Inside this collapsing sandcastle were burial chambers, hidden passageways, and stone sarcophagi that were cutting edge for their time. The pharaoh wanted innovation. Unfortunately, he picked a swampy location. Yeah, water seeped in, the foundation gave way, and the pyramid started sinking like it was auditioning for a Titanic remake. But still, people lived near it, worshipped there, and buried treasures in it. Which raises the question, why keep building pyramids in a place where the last one is literally falling apart? Because ancient humans were stubborn. They were like, yeah, this one's collapsing, but maybe the next one won't. Spoiler, it did. Now the Black Pyramid sits quietly, mostly ignored, like that one weird kid in class who definitely knows all the cheat codes but never raises their hand. It shouldn't even exist in that condition, but somehow it's still standing. Barely. Which is kind of inspiring in a sad, don't give up on your half-baked mud project kind of way.
Number 8. The Amazon's hidden cities. The Amazon rainforest is supposed to be untouched, right? Just pure jungle with nothing but snakes, bugs the size of dinner plates, and enough humidity to melt your eyebrows off. Except, nope. Beneath all that greenery are ancient roads, plazas, and entire civilizations. Basically, the rainforest is one giant overgrown condo complex. For centuries, people thought the Amazon was too harsh for big civilizations. No way humans could build something here, historians said. Wrong again. Laser mapping tech, LiDAR, has revealed geometric earthworks stretching for miles. These weren't just random huts. They had organized layouts, central squares, and farming systems. Here's the spooky bit. Millions of people might have lived there before Europeans ever showed up. But disease, conquest, and time erased almost all traces. The jungle swallowed their cities so completely that modern explorers walked right over them without noticing. Imagine living in an apartment complex, moving out, and then nature just slaps the full rainforest on top. So, the Amazon isn't just the lungs of the planet. It's also the graveyard of forgotten civilizations. And if you thought getting lost in the jungle was scary, try getting lost in one that used to be a metropolis.
Number 7. Göbekli Tepe, the wrong timeline.
History textbooks love to tell you civilization began when people learned farming. Then they built monuments. Sounds neat, right? Except Göbekli Tepe in Turkey basically takes that idea, throws it in a blender, and laughs at you. This site is over 11,000 years old, older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, basically older than your grandma's entire family tree. What's there? Massive stone circles with pillars carved with animals and symbols. These weren't caves with stick figures. These were complex temples. And here's the kicker, they were built before farming. That's like building a cathedral before you even figure out how to grow wheat. Archaeologists are still scratching their heads. Did hunter-gatherers suddenly wake up one day and decide, let's move rocks the size of SUVs and carve creepy animals on them for fun? Or did they know something we don't? It flips our neat little evolutionary story upside down. And when the builders were done, they deliberately buried the site. Yeah, they built it, used it, then covered it with dirt like some cosmic do not disturb sign. That's the history version of rage quitting a video game and unplugging the console. Göbekli Tepe shouldn't exist, but it does. And every time archaeologists dig deeper, history professors everywhere get nervous sweats.
Number 6. Mohenjo-Daro's radioactive mystery. Mohenjo-Daro in modern-day Pakistan is one of the crown jewels of the Indus Valley civilization. Advanced city planning, drainage systems, streets so neatly arranged they'd put your local city planner to shame. But here's where it gets spooky. Archaeologists found skeletons that seemed unusually well preserved, almost as if something sudden wiped people out. Some fringe theories went full sci-fi, suggesting radiation levels were found in parts of the ruins. Cue wild claims, ancient nuclear war, like the Indus Valley people just casually had atomic bombs lying around. Scientists have mostly debunked the extreme theories, but the weirdness doesn't go away. Sudden collapse, bodies left in streets, and signs of massive destruction. Even without nuclear bombs, the mystery is disturbing. One of the world's earliest urban societies just vanished. No grand decline, no migration story. Poof! Gone. It's like deleting an entire SimCity save file without explanation. So whether it was drought, invasion, disease, or something we haven't even imagined, Mohenjo-Daro remains the world's most sophisticated ghost town. And the fact that some people still whisper about ancient nukes, that just makes it even creepier.
Number 5. The Olmec's giant heads. If you walk into the jungles of Mexico and stumble across a colossal stone head staring at you, congratulations, you've just met the Olmecs. They carved massive basalt heads, some over 9 feet tall and weighing tons, with detailed facial features that look suspiciously specific, like portraits of real people. Here's the head scratcher. The Olmecs existed over 3,000 years ago, and we don't even know exactly who they were. No written records survive, just these intimidating stone heads and a few scattered artifacts. And moving those stones? They hauled them miles from distant quarries, without wheels, cranes, or forklifts. That's the ancient equivalent of carrying a fridge across a continent. So why the heads? Some say they were rulers, some say gods. Personally, I think it was their version of giant billboards saying, "We were here, deal with it." The creepiest part? The Olmecs were the mother culture of Mesoamerica, influencing the Maya and Aztecs. But then they vanished, like a pilot episode of history that ended on a cliffhanger and never got renewed. All that's left are these enormous stone faces silently judging anyone who wanders by.
Number 4. The Ant People of the Southwest. If you grew up near the American Southwest, you might have heard whispers of strange legends from the Hopi people about ant people. And no, not Marvel superheroes. These were beings described as part human, part insect, who supposedly helped humanity survive catastrophic events by sheltering them underground. Here's the thing.
Archaeologists have actually found vast, ancient underground complexes in parts of the Southwest. Some are natural caves, but others look like they were deliberately modified. Combine that with petroglyphs that kind of look like bug-eyed humanoids, and suddenly the legend gets creepy. Were the ant people just mythological metaphors for survival during droughts? Or did ancient folks meet something? Skeptics say it's symbolic. Believers say aliens. Me, I say if a 6-foot ant ever offers you a place to crash underground, maybe don't ask too many questions. What makes this civilization twist fascinating is how these stories overlap with real history. Native cultures clearly survived brutal droughts, and oral traditions say they had help. Whether it was teamwork, clever engineering, or bug people with real estate underground, the ant people story gives forgotten resilience a distinctly creepy flavor.
Number 3, Nan Madol, the floating city. Now imagine an ancient Venice, but instead of gondolas and pizza, you get basalt towers and mysterious canals. That's Nan Madol, a ruined city sitting on coral reefs off the coast of Micronesia. Built entirely on artificial islets, it's often called the Venice of the Pacific, only nobody knows exactly how it was built or why. We're talking thousands of massive stone blocks, each weighing several tons, stocked like Jenga pieces in the middle of the ocean. And there's no record of wheels, pulleys, or cranes. The local legends say magic was involved. Honestly, if I had to move a 10-ton rock without a forklift, I'd probably invent magic too. The city had temples, palaces, and even tombs for chiefs. But here's the mystery. It wasn't sustainable. No farmland, no fresh water. It's like someone built a luxury resort in the middle of nowhere without thinking about plumbing. Eventually, the place was abandoned, leaving behind a ghost city on the sea. Nan Madol shouldn't exist. By all logic, it was an impossible construction project. And yet, it's still there, defying both science and common sense. It's basically the world's oldest because we could flex.
Number 2, the underground city of Derinkuyu. Let's go under Turkey again, but this time even deeper. Derinkuyu is an entire underground city carved straight into volcanic rock. I'm not talking about a basement with a wine fridge. I'm talking about multi-level complexes that could house up to 20,000 people, with ventilation shafts, wells, kitchens, chapels, and even livestock areas. Who builds a giant mole people city like this? Apparently, ancient Anatolians did, possibly as far back as the Bronze Age. The purpose? Probably defense, hide underground when invaders show up. But Derinkuyu wasn't just a panic bunker. It was fully livable. Some tunnels go hundreds of feet down, and the engineering is so good, people still don't know exactly how they kept airflow working that deep. Walking through it today feels like wandering into a survivalist's fever dream, except this wasn't prepping for some future apocalypse. It was real, and it worked. And the best part? Derinkuyu wasn't alone. There are dozens of these underground cities across the region, some even connected by tunnels. So yeah, apparently hiding in giant, creepy subterranean labyrinths was a whole thing. Derinkuyu shouldn't exist, but the fact that it does makes underground civilizations sound way less like sci-fi and way more like Tuesday.
Number 1, the lost city of Atlantis. Sort of. Okay, we can't do a list about civilizations that shouldn't exist without mentioning the king of them all, Atlantis. Plato dropped the idea in his writings like it was casual gossip, an advanced island civilization that got a little too cocky, angered the gods, and then sploosh, swallowed by the ocean in a single day. Ever since, people have been obsessed. Here's the weird thing. While Atlantis itself might be more philosophical metaphor than tourist destination, there are plenty of real-world places that look suspiciously Atlantis-y. Structures under the sea near Japan's Yonaguni Island? Check. Submerged ruins off the coast of India? Yup. Ancient maps showing land masses where there shouldn't be any? Double yep. Now, is Atlantis real? Historians say probably not, but archaeologists keep stumbling onto civilizations that rewrite the timeline. Every time someone digs up another massive city in the desert, jungle, or under the sea, you can almost hear Plato laughing in the background. Atlantis represents the idea that entire advanced societies could just disappear. wiped out by nature, war, or time, leaving behind only fragments and myths. And when you look at the Sahara's buried cities, the Amazon's lost metropolises, and underwater ruins nobody can explain, Atlantis doesn't feel so crazy after all. So whether it's myth or memory, the story of Atlantis is the ultimate reminder. Civilizations we think shouldn't exist sometimes really did. And maybe we just haven't found them all yet. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.